Hi. Okay, I'm gonna set up this cam because we're gonna talk about how to plan when life is unpredictable, when you're unemployed. So yeah, let's set it up first and then we'll get started. Okay, hi, welcome back. Hello. We are gonna talk about how to prepare for 2024, for the new year, when your life is super unpredictable. And what I mean by that is, I don't know, maybe you just got laid off, you've been unemployed for a few months, or your living situation is up in the air, whatever it is. Planning for the new year might not feel so great, or it just might feel different. So today we're gonna get into that. And for those of you who are new here, hello, welcome. This is First Gen Money. I am Danielle and I share all about money, lifestyle, mental health, and all things first gen perspective, from my perspective. And we're gonna be talking about this from the lens of unpredictability because that is where I am in life right now. Things are just up in the air. My where to next is uncertain because I am unemployed. I have been looking and trying to find a job for the last 4 months at this point and haven't been successful. My unemployment payments have not come in yet. Things are up in the air for me. And the last piece is we weren't supposed to be living in the basement past the new year. Obviously no one's gonna kick us out, but our living situations, where do we go? We were gonna buy a house before the end of the year. Obviously that's not gonna happen. And so life is uncertain. And I know I'm not the only one out there. Just last week, Spotify laid off about 1,500 employees. And they're not the only company doing layoffs, right? This is their third layoff, I think, in the last year. And there are companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, all of which have done layoffs since we started seeing layoffs in 2022. And so I don't know if you're with me in this, if you're not, if you're just somebody who, okay, maybe I have a job right now, but yeah, I'm looking at things a little more closely and seeing some signs. So I'm making this video for us. What kind of goals? How do we prepare? How do we set up for the new year? Let's talk about it. First things first, we are a money channel, right? Or at least that's how we started. And so money goals is something I have always looked forward to setting at the beginning of the year. Like I said, don't know when my next steady paycheck will be coming in, and unemployment just hasn't been coming in yet. But does that mean that I can't set money goals? Not necessarily. Instead of setting the traditional money goals that I have set, save X amount by February, save X amount for this vacation, set X amount for whatever, create all these sinking funds. What I think works well in terms of setting money goals when things are uncertain is focusing on how you can maximize, optimize, and all the I's is the existing money that you currently have. Right? So if you do have a savings account, or if you are receiving unemployment, this can be an opportunity for you to start practicing good money habits, like learning how to budget, learning how to finally have a certain amount of money and say, okay, I'm gonna try to make a goal of sticking as closely to my budget, or I'm gonna make a goal to track everything that I spend for the next 2 months, right? So these goals around money are less about, okay, you're gonna have to save this much money when you don't have an income, and more about how can you think about the money that you do have and make it last, or make it work for you. Maybe you try a no spend challenge, right? You've always heard about them, no spending. What does that mean? I can't buy groceries, I'm supposed to not eat for a month? No, right? Try a no spend challenge, maybe just take part in one of these and kind of become more intentional with where your money is going. And that could be a way that you kind of assign yourself to a money goal without feeling the pressure to find a job in the next 2 weeks by the end of the year. You don't have a job right now, but what is your target salary for that next job? Write it down, visualize it, right? My friend, when she saw one of my stories about how I was struggling with these job interviews and all that stuff, she messaged me and she was like, you need to manifest your next role. You need to write it down. You need to say who your manager is. You need to describe the working environment and write the specific salary down. So maybe that's something that you put. Maybe it's your hitting a 100K salary is that goal for you for 2024. So we don't have to stop having money goals because we're not working. Okay. Another thing that you can very much do is look at your calendar. What is coming up for you in 2024? Actually go through your Google Calendar, jot down any birthdays you have, any weddings that you've been invited to, any other trips that maybe you pre-scheduled, and put them on the calendar. Make a mental note about them, because what you do here is going to help you understand, one, how to change up your money goal. Let's spend only a small amount of eating out in January because we have a trip in February that we're going to take, and we need to make that money last, right? And so it helps you kind of understand what's coming in your schedule. So jot down birthdays, jot down weddings, events, big upcoming expenses. For example, I know every April I have to pay for life insurance. So that's gonna be put on the calendar. So I can think about, okay, that big bill that's gonna come in April that I need to pay for. So make a note of all the great things that you're celebrating, because it will come up, and it will come up fast. And the last thing you want is to be surprised. That's not fun. These birthdays are not changing, and they're not gonna not happen just because your life is uncertain right now. It might just mean that you might have to make some boundaries, or, express to someone early on that you might not be able to participate in X, Y, and Z. So review that calendar. Even though your life might seem like it's not exactly where you wish it was, or that, things haven't turned out the way that you had in mind, that doesn't mean that you can't sit and reflect about the things that did go well in 2023 and the things that you want to happen in 2024. So please do not think that because life is unpredictable, because you're unemployed, because things aren't looking so good in the job search process, because trust me, I've been down there and been like, wow, nobody wants to hire me. It is still important for you to sit down and reflect on the things that went well for you. It just helps us. It helps us really get motivated about why we are doing the things we are doing, and helps us take a step back and see the things that did work out for us. So I have some prompt questions for you to kind of think through and reflect on. For looking back, right? What is the biggest surprise that you got in 2023? That could be, me getting laid off. There are also a ton of things that can be. What is the best thing that happened to you in 2023? And what are you most proud about of 2023? And looking ahead, you might want to ask yourself, what am I most looking forward to in 2024? How will I do things differently in 2024? What will I do the same in 2024? Or what do I want to do more of in 2024? And then finally, what word is going to carry you through in 2024, right? Assign yourself a word for the year. And use this time to really reflect. Think about the things that you want. Get yourself motivated. Get yourself motivated to think about the possibilities that are out there. I have found that when we are in moments of uncertainty because of unemployment, or because of whatever it is that it might be for you. For me, it is unemployment and struggling to find my next role, that it is so important for me to get outside of the scarcity mindset of, oh my God, I'm never gonna find a job. Oh my God, nobody wants to hire me. And instead, think about all the ways that I'm freaking amazing and say, well, you know what? If no one's gonna hire me, then I'm gonna hire myself and I'm gonna believe in myself. But I don't know, just getting out of that scarcity mindset is something so necessary in order to get us outside of this like slump that we might be feeling. So reflect and remember you're freaking amazing. And just because you don't have a job or life is uncertain doesn't mean you're any less amazing. You know how much I love a good decluttering session. We do not need to wait until spring cleaning to clean out the closet. You didn't see this closet before, but I have a bag, not using, not wearing, and ready to give to another person. And I think this one is good for many reasons. It helps us be more intentional. Why am I saying intentional? It helps us be more intentional about the space that is taking up, the physical space that is being taken up by these items that we don't wear, don't like, or don't feel connected to anymore. And I don't know about you, but for me, not only is the physical clutter take up space, but it also takes up like mental space in my head. Like, I don't know, just seeing these bags here, I'm like, I need to like do something about them now. But another reason why like decluttering and maybe like giving something another life could be good right now is that maybe this is the only way that you can donate this holiday season, right? Maybe you're not in a position to financially donate, but you have an old coat that you're not using, but is like still in good condition. And it's winter. It's winter. I just saw on Facebook, on a Facebook group for my local community, somebody's collecting jackets. And people need to stay warm in the winter. People need to stay warm. And if you have winter coats you're not using, like that can be given to somebody who needs it, right? Somebody might need these boots more than I do. So first, check with your local Buy Nothing group. Take a picture of the things that you have that you're like looking to get rid of and see if somebody in your local community can claim it. Text your friends, siblings, say, hey, I'm giving this away. Do you want anything? Maybe they'll want a bag full of things. And the rest, donate. But think about where you're donating it, right? I think that's a big piece of it. Like, try to do your best to like see where else you can contribute before you go to Goodwill. So I have family that is going to Ecuador, and I know certain items might be better to send to Ecuador because people might and most definitely will use them, right? So think about your closet and how you can get rid of the clothing and the items that you have to have a second life. But also remember to use this as like a really intentional way of like, okay, I just got rid of something that maybe I bought last year at a thrift store. Like, how do you make sure you don't make those same mistakes again in the future? Hi. Okay. Another thing that you can do to help prepare for 2024 is instead of setting these like wild yearly goals, because let's be real, we don't know what's going to happen in a year, try setting quarterly goals. This is something that we do a lot in companies that I've worked at. Like, we set quarterly goals. So every 3 months, our goals change. It helps us track how we're pacing for those year-long goals that we have. But at least when shit's unpredictable, it helps us see like, okay, what can I change up for next quarter? In this case, instead of setting year-long goals that can leave us super disencouraged, super disappointed because we feel like, how am I going to hit a savings goal of $50K when I have no income? And you say that to yourself in January, in February, in March, and you're not at all motivated to achieve this like wild yearly goal that you have. A quarterly goal helps you stay on track, right? So if you do have and you do want to add a savings goal to your goals, then break it up into a quarterly, right? If right now you don't have a job, but you still want to hit that savings goal, then maybe it's important to like think about it as, okay, I have this spending, goal. I can't go over this spending amount because it'll help you kind of stay in that baseline for when you do have income. Oh, my phone is on. And having these goals kind of on a 3-month schedule helps it kind of give you that snowball effect, right? Like, okay, things are picking up and like, I feel good about this instead of feeling depleted. And so quarterly goals help us better track toward the bigger things. I think an example for this could be like, yeah, maybe for the first quarter of the year from January to March, you have a goal of maybe you want it to be land a job. I don't know. Land a job. Let's break that down though. What do you need to land a job? You need to apply to jobs. So every week in January, you're going to commit to applying to 25 jobs for a total of 100 jobs a month. And you can see how that's going. And so by mid-February, when you're doing like mid-quarter check-in, you can see how many interviews have I had? Have I not been getting interviews? It's time to kind of think through my resume. Is my resume not doing well? Reevaluate. It helps you kind of reevaluate. In that way, I think they're more effective for people who just like have no idea what the year is going to look like. And so in that case, think about that quarterly goals instead of annual goals. Plus, I think it just helps you actually achieve those goals. So that's it. Set quarterly goals instead of yearly goals, because you can still set goals. Let's just make it more kind of on a shorter time frame. Just to close off, I want to remind you that you can still plan for the new year. You can still plan for 2024, even if you don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. You don't know when that next full-time job is coming. You don't know where you're going to be living in 3 months from now. You can still have the tradition of planning for the new year, of being excited for something. So happy planning. I will probably be sharing my goals with you in upcoming videos because yes, I have goals. I'm gonna set goals too. And there's no reason why we shouldn't, right? Like, let's enjoy these moments that we don't have a specific routine. We don't have a specific paycheck. I don't know, like, yes, I have no idea when unemployment's gonna hit. I have no idea when I'm gonna land my next role, but also I love the fact that I can just wake up and go to Solid Core at 9:30 in the morning if I wanted to. So let's embrace this unpredictability. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do subscribe. It helps my channel, like this video, all of that good stuff. And I will see you all next week. Mwah.